Today was an absolutely wonderful day for the Montreal Canadiens, and no, I am not strictly talking about the team's 5-1 decision over the Seattle Kraken, which just wrapped up, but I'm also talking about the Laval Rocket, because as we had been talking about this entire time, the AHL Canadiens are trying to go out there and force themselves into a playoff spot. With the addition of David Reinbacher, things are looking good, but they still need to get the results on paper, and that is what we saw earlier today. Laval ended up defeating the Toronto Marlies to get yet another 2 points on the standings, very valuable at this time of the year. And for David Reinbacher, it was a really great game because when you talk about the overall perception, how he's able to step up, how he's able to play, he scored himself an assist here, so it's his first assist as an AHL player. He's now up to 2 points in 3 games played. And yeah, you're hearing that right, 3 games played, because the Laval Rocket played tonight against the Toronto Marlies, they played yesterday night against the Belleville Sens, and then they played 2 nights ago against the Sens once more, so they literally played 3 games in a row. That's why everybody talks about how the AHL system is good for developing prospects, because it really gets them used to the rigorous cycle of continual action. But aside from that, David Reinbacher did score himself an assist, and honestly, there were a few other goals where it was like, yeah, Reinbacher got himself very much involved in the play, and he was part of the reason the goals even happened. It's just, if there were tertiary assists, for example, Reinbacher would have had at least 2 more points in this game. It's just, unfortunately, being the third guy to help out on a goal doesn't get you any points. So Reinbacher's kind of crap out of luck there, but he still walks away out of this game with 1 point, which is good enough, especially when you watch some of the tape. There are some crazy good things that we have learned about David Reinbacher just from this 3-game sample. And to give us a little bit of an insight on that, let's go out there and look at Sean Farrell's 3-1 goal against the Marlies from earlier today. This essentially was started off because David Reinbacher received the pass on the inside of the blue line. He does a really nice drop pass over to the guy on the boards, then it goes across, back in front, and then Sean Farrell gets the goal. As we had said, this was a goal where if there were tertiary assists allowed, we have primary assists and secondary assists. If there was a third assist, Reinbacher would have gotten the point here. This is what Thibaut Chatel goes out there and says, classic projection from Reinbacher to start and support the rush. He has done it all year long, but now with teammates with a better finishing touch. Having support when he does the drop pass on entry is already a big improvement than what we had seen in EHC Kloten. You also had Grant McKegg say this: David Reinbacher played 3 games in 9 days to end his season in Switzerland and 7 games in a month. His introduction to North American hockey is 3 games in 68 hours, and he has acquitted himself quite well. He doesn't look tired. It helps when you're smart, big, and skilled. There also was a conversation talked about by Hattie K. 2 quick goals from Laval to make it 2-1, and the Rocket have turned this game around. David Reinbacher on the ice for both goals. Great defensive read on the second goal especially. One thing I've really come to enjoy this season about Reinbacher is how quickly he sets up his next play. Although he could still learn to hang on to pucks for a second, it takes a lot of awareness, scanning, and experience to decide on the next play as quickly as he does. And then you have even more comments. This is what Alex Jadoin goes out there and says, I thought Reinbacher would take more time to get acclimated to the AHL. Obviously he'll have ups and downs, but it's looking really good right now. And so really what we're learning about David Reinbacher is that maybe his team in EHC Kloten in Switzerland really was that gosh darn bad. That now he's in North America, he's playing with players that actually know how to finish, and he's playing on one of the teams that's clawing for a playoff spot. They have something to play for. They are not just playing not to get relegated like EHC Kloten was, and Reinbacher is fitting right in. It's almost like the smaller ice size has allowed him to defensively showcase more of what he's capable of. His long reach and his ranginess is more effective on smaller ice surfaces because there's less space for the opposition. And he's taking advantage of this full send, and producing offense on top of that. You really couldn't have expected more out of David Reinbacher, and the best part is this isn't even the only great story we have for Montreal in terms of player performance from Sunday, March 24th. Because as we had said, the Canadiens just beat the Seattle Kraken 5-1, and we saw some good offense coming from these extra defensemen as well. Caden Gooley got the opening goal, assisted by Caulfield and Suzuki. Was it tipped by Slafkovsky? We don't really know, but Slafkovsky did get himself an assist later on the Nick Suzuki goal, so good on Slav for at least getting a point in this game. And then you also had Mike Matheson scoring what was a beautiful short-handed goal to make it 5-1 in the second period. He steals the puck right in the middle, wheels past the Seattle blue liner, and is able to come in on goal. Fancy dangle, he scores, make it 5-1, and Matheson puts himself in yet another conversation where he is dominant. Now, I will say, there's a little bit of a prelude here because I do want to make a video later into the week asking whether or not Mike Matheson should get traded. There has been a lot of conversation about that particular idea, but I don't think this is the video to explore that. I wanted to just go over the good things here. Kaiden Guhle, of course, getting on the board and scoring what is his 6th goal on the year. Nice to see the offense there. Cole Caulfield and Suzuki getting assists on this play. Jordan Harris got himself an assist. Alex Newhook had 2 goals. Kaiden Guhle had an assist on top of his goal. And then, of course, the Matheson shorthanded marker. Just an absolutely great showcase from the Canadiens skill-wise. And I get it, you could say, hey, I would have preferred them to lose in regulation. I want Macklin Celebrini. That's totally cool. That's totally fine. But you can't deny that watching the team do as well as they did against Seattle tonight, there still is good to pay attention to and get excited for. Because, hey, spoiler alert, all the guys that scored in the first period, Guhle, Newhook, Suzuki, and Newhook again, they're all fairly young. They're all under the age of 25. So there realistically is a chance that a lot of these traits and what is this ultimate showing of talent carries over into more prosperous types of play in the future. But, of course, I mean, Mike Matheson is a little bit on the older side. Hence, the conversation as to whether or not he should get traded. So, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Montreal Canadiens defeating the Seattle Kraken 5-1. This crazy good game where they scored 5 goals on only 17 shots. Hey, you gotta feel for Philip Grubauer and Joey Daccord. But thoughts about this game, also let me know your thoughts in the comment section about David Reinbacher and his fantastic showing so far with the Laval Rocket in 3 games in 3 days, by the way. Like, I don't think we really nailed the point home in this video as to how crazy that entire thing is. Having 3 straight game days is pretty nuts, and I'm pretty sure for most of us that have played sports or we've played, I don't know, hockey, we've been a part of a team, we know what it's like to go through tournaments and everything, like, getting multiple days worth of game days, more than 2 in a row, is just the death of you. And, of course, you know, these are professional athletes. They should be able to go every single night. But the fact is, it's not normal in the NHL. It never happens in the NHL. So, having a sample like this in the AHL and seeing David Reinbacher being able to keep up and also produce points on top of that while keeping together his defensive qualities that made him so good in the first place, yeah, that's awesome to see. And it's one of these things where you start to realize, hey, Reinbacher next season might actually have himself a really good chance at making some prime damage on this Canadiens blue line. Whether or not that spells the inevitable trading of some other guys to open up roster space, who really knows? But for now, thoughts in the comment section below about the Canadiens and the Kraken. Also, what are your thoughts about David Reinbacher scoring his assists? So 2 assists in 3 games played for the big man himself. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.